topic, managing corporate reputation of IIHS in order to develop into new international market context. Thank you, Manisha.
Well, it's a great pleasure addressing my research on the audience. So let me begin with the theme or the topic of my research. It is about managing corporate reputation of IIHS in order to enter into new international markets. To start with it, let me give a brief introduction about our institute. Our institute is a healthcare training institute which we affiliate with different universities, recognized universities from Australia, UK, USA and Malaysia. And our main target will be students after O-levels, A-levels till diploma to the PhD level. And since we have five faculties, nursing, physiotherapy, biomedical science and health administration, we have a wide variety in approaching the market in health side. In order to begin with the corporate reputation, let me start it with the definition of corporate reputation, which is engaging in activities which help organization to build favorable association and positive reputation with both internal and external stakeholders. In my words, it would say that it is the collective assessment of what we have done previously in research-wise. And for example, we do BioInquirer research forums and conferences we have every year. And also we do CSR activities, corporate social responsibility. We do sponsor for hospitals and we do training sessions for nursing training. And based on that theme, so we earn a reputation to our institute, except for the purpose of training. Also we create a reputation for the brand name. So that is corporate reputation is. And always the corporate reputation is the independent variable. It is independent, and the brand image is variable. According to the so brand image is always depending on the corporate reputation that we have gained throughout our years, and that will be helpful for us to achieve our targets that we have budgeted in our future, and will be a positive impact. To begin with, corporate reputation is the first analysis of IIHS, the Institute strategic process. I have included the vision of IIHS to be the heart of innovative development of healthcare professionals for the globe. Based on our vision, so we are targeting our group, especially I am talking here about the nursing category. So nurses, so we target them to be in the international market in future. And since corporate reputation is all about the stakeholders, let me tell you where are our stakeholders, and according to the power matrix that I have applied, and we be able to see the power and interest, the level of power and interest of our stakeholders. And among that, government authorities, shareholders and employees are in the high level of power and interest. So that is our main target is in order to build a better reputation. So our target is to involve with them and to engage with them. Since our stakeholders, both internal and external, we will say if it is internal stakeholders, for example, is an employee. In order to offer equal opportunities, rewards employee fairly and employee well-being, one example. And if we talk about the external stakeholder, that would be the government or the citizenship, environmentally responsible, positive influence on society and support from their goodwill. So these are the attributes that we can use to build our reputation. To go to the second phase in my research, that is to, after building corporate reputation, why I chose corporate reputation to develop into the new international market is because it is an increasing trend to use corporate brand reputation as an icon, and also it encourages to execute. And also since we have the potential to develop, and also because global needs of nurses. Why I say global need is there, according to the research of Royal College Nursing staff, Safe Staff report, it mentions that only in London 40% of vacancies have been filled up with qualified nurses, and there are still 60% are vacant. That is according to December 2014 research. But if I come to the future, that will be by 2025, there will be an alarming shortage of nurses in Australia, a predicted gap between 80,000 to 147,000 nurses. That is according to the research by done in Australia. These are the strategies that we can use to enter into international market. Few strategies are online delivery, student exchange programs, top-up programs to cater regions Maldives and Bangladesh, and develop into regional research area. So the activity level strategy which I talk about is that our stakeholders, most importantly what I can give is the alumni society. To build up an effective alumni society, which means we are interacting with our past students, and there we can help them to the society to know about our programs well, about new programs, and about upcoming events, reunions, job opportunities, and network links, and latest news about former students, and especially in Sri Lanka and all the international students also, for them to know about what IIT is, how the academic and professional staff help them, and how important our programs are, and how will it be especially important in international markets. So by getting to know with past experiences, it will be a better, effective and strategy to have an effective alumni society. So that is my strategy to develop IIH's target of getting into the international market is to begin with effective alumni society, to build up the corporate reputation as an effective way of getting to the brand name into the high hierarchy. Thank you so much. This is about marketing side. You have questions? Okay. Let me call upon Mr. Asanta, because after talking about the marketing strategy and the corporate reputation, it is about the financial opportunity that we can gain out of this. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you. I'm Asanta from Finance Department. I'm going to talk about the benefits of nursing pathway programs. Which key contains its introduction, objectives, background, and finally the conclusion. So, nursing pathway programs will support the inclusivity advantageous for the customers. This will support the one that are at the bottom of the education pyramid. So this improves accessibility to middle income groups for international level of education. Smart pathway will provide the necessary foundation for the future studies. The students could even complete their desired degree faster by gaining credit through their pathway studies. These are the objectives what I am going to discuss. I will describe and measure the benefits of pathway program of nursing and describe how pathway programs are helpful to the country economy and individual's economy. This is the education pyramid. You can see top of this triangle. It's a This is the education pyramid. Top of this represent 2% of the A-level students qualified for the government universities in Sri Lanka. So the bottom part is represent 98%. That's the students they didn't get the qualification for entrance to the government universities. So they have different options. So private institutes, colleges, and others. So pathways will facilitate to this cluster to enter to achieve their desired education qualifications.
This is the uniqueness of IHS. So when you choose the IHS,
So you can save more cost. If you are choosing a pathway, you can save a lot of money choosing that way. So the other thing is at IHS we are offering well recognized degree programs. So you can get recognized qualifications from there. So the other thing is you can study at your home country. We delivered well experienced industry level experienced lecture panels, and we deliver the world class assessment method for you for your studies. These are the cost benefit analysis when you are doing your courses in Australia, and as well as if you are doing the course at IHS. So when you doing your full course in Australia, the 4 years you have to spend 110,760 Australian dollars. So tuition cost per year is $27,690. Living cost per year is $18,610. Part-time earning per hour through odd jobs $18. So when we move to the other situation, if you are doing your education at IIHS, 3 years tuition fee at IIHS is 8,270 Australian dollars. Living cost in Sri Lanka per annum is $6,000. Last year tuition fee, this you have to incur at final year. That's $27,690. So last year living cost in Australia is $18,610. If you are doing part-time job, per hour you can earn as an aged care worker $20.98. Your earning capacity will vary depending on the state you are working and what type of facility you are offering, and if you are whether you are working in private or public sector. So according to that, the earning capacity will vary. Another thing is the shift schedule. This is the pay scale for aged care nurses in New South Wales. It's effective from 7th December 2007. You can see that they consider 1,976 hours per year as working hours. So first year they can earn minimum per week is $797. So minimum per year they can earn $41,461. With the maximum allowance they can get $46,461. At the final 8th year you can see that 72,851 total possible salary you can earn. This is the estimated income and expenses according to the selected salary levels and family structures. There are 3 types of family structures: if you are single, or you have 2 members and 3 members. So in single person, total family income is in year 6 $42,398, and family 2 structure $62,492, and third structure is $67,398 total income. These are the expenses students have to incur in Australia. So rent, electricity, phone, living cost, private medical insurance, public transport, childcare, like that. So total living expenses in single person is 23,180, 2 person is 29,460, and third structure is 45,060. So when you can see that the savings is savings is $19,280 in 6 years, 33,032 second structure, third structure is savings is $22,338. You can earn additional earnings because of the shift allowance. So total potential savings 24,218 and $38,032 in second structure, third structure $27,338. This table is an estimate of the possible income, expense and savings might expect in Australia. This estimate is based on the experience of 80 overseas nurses, which savings provides me to repay the loan which may require their programs. So most of the nurses, they can settle this loan at the end of the second year. Also, more importantly, they have challenging careers, usually with the original sponsor. Their spouses have developed careers and improved their salaries as well. So their children are happily enrolled in Australian schools. Family has been granted permanent residence. This is the average salary in Australia according to job sector. If you are professional nurse, your average income according to the purchasing power parity 3,811. Purchasing power parity means it's eliminate the differences between currencies when you are comparing one country GDP, gross domestic production, with another country. So you have to eliminate this price exchange differences. That's the how purchasing power parity calculations fail. So gross monthly average income is 6,241. This based on the working hours of weekly 38 hours. If you are doing the auxiliary nurses sector, its purchasing power parity income is $2,632. Also, you have another options like office clerks, salespersons, hotel receptionists. If you are doing office clerks jobs, so your earning is $2,859. These are the attractive benefits. Family can migrate, they can work, study, their children can go to the best school in Australia. So annual leave is 4 and 6 weeks. Sick leave is 10 days. Hours of work is 38 hours per week. Long service leave you can get 2 months after 10 years. Superannuation, this is the special retirement fund in Australia. That's 9% from gross wage, and it's $5,600 annually. Government medical insurance also there, so it covers 80 to 100% medical and hospital cost. Also permanent residents also can get after 2 years. These are some of the statistics when we compare Sri Lanka and Australia. Per capita income in Sri Lanka is $5,120, but you can see in Australia it's a huge 73,039. But economic growth rate is Sri Lanka is 6.5%, Australia is 1.8%. When you compare with the inflation rate in Sri Lanka is 3.2%. Australia, the normal price increase, that inflation rate is 1.5%. As a conclusion, the pathway programs in health not only provide cost-effective option for local students, but also provide international level quality education at the country of origin. These programs also improve the program outcomes by improving job opportunities for the Sri Lankan youth. That's all. Thank you very much.
The monthly income. Let's see, exempted with the tax or included tax.
Sister, gross monthly income is excluding the tax. Tax.
Thank you, Asanta. Next, I would like to invite KGASN Valavathan to present on the topic E-Marketing Strategies at the International Institute of Health Sciences.
Good morning.
Today I am going to present about e-marketing strategies at IHS. E-marketing is no longer an option. It has become an necessity. As per the record of past few years, internet users in Sri Lanka has shown an alarming growth. Sri Lanka has spent more than $5 billion on research and development. There are so many elements in e-marketing. Most popular e-marketing types are social media, search engine marketing, email marketing, and video marketing. These are some of the marketing types we are using. In IIHS, a target market decided based on age group and the education background. Our main strategies are Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Facebook. As per the 2013 statistics, there were more than 1.4 million active users in Sri Lanka. According to the Facebook penetration in Sri Lanka is 7.09% compared to the country's population. The largest age group is in between 18 to 24, and from that 68% male users and 42% female users. There are so many options we can use from Facebook. One is account, pages, chat option, post boosting, events, and collaboration. According to the self-analysis, the main strengths are innovating culture, technology, cost advantage. Weaknesses are online presence, customer service, lack of scale. Innovation, new technology, emerging market, new product, green market are opportunities, and the main threats are rules and regulation. Now, justification of social media marketing main advantage is cost. When we are compared to the social media versus paper and electronic media, we can start our advertising from $1. And we can decide our own target market by boosting. And we can reuse the same advertisement again and again by adding budget and also speed. Another advantage is expandability. We can add some budget and we can expand the visibility of Facebook and the reports. These are some of reports generally IHS created. This is top 5 post of Facebook and page like. We can monitor our page like daily and age group. According to our records, the same thing, our large age group is 18 to 24. And these are the records of our clients. And another segment is YouTube. Presently, IHS maintaining 2 YouTube channels. First one is IHS and second one BioInquirer. After few days, you all can see our this huge event via this BioInquirer channel. And Twitter, compared to other social media, Twitter is more official. We can tweet the status via Twitter. And when we are talking about e-marketing, the main barrier is fake accounts. According to the Sri Lanka police, from the the total accounts, 70% are fake accounts. And the paying method. We can only use credit cards or internet cards to use the advertising internet. So, ladies and gentlemen, e-marketing is the most cost-effective feasible marketing tool which we can use for the marketing. And also, when we are consider about younger generation, this is the best way to target them. And e-marketing has a huge scope to expand the future development of internet and communications expansions. Thank you. Thank you, Abhasha. Next, I would like to invite W.K. Senarathan to present on the topic Challenges in Recruits and Referral Nursing Profession at International Institute of Health Sciences.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I am going to present our research about challenges in recruitment and retaining nursing professionals at International Institute of Health Sciences, Sri Lanka. So, human resources is the most valuable resource in the any organization, because comparing with other resources, it is a live resource. They can feel, they can think and act than other resources. So they are taking actions according to that thinking. So therefore we have to manage very carefully human resource to achieve organization goals. Thinking about the academic institution, the academic employees are a little bit different than other employee, because we have to do the two main roles. One is the lecturing part and the coordination. So when we are going to proper recruiting, we have to think about very carefully, otherwise we can't retain the people in the institution. So those are the challenges when we are handling human resource in an academic institution. So in our organization, we have, in a nursing program, we have a different pathways. Foundation, diplomas, higher national diplomas, and bachelor's, master's, and PhDs also. So these programs coming from a different standards from different countries. In Malaysia, Australia, United States, United Kingdom. Those countries have different standards, regulation, legal background. So all the academic people have to adhere all these regulations. So the institution challenges is to recruit employees, academic staff to retain for a long time. Otherwise, it is a waste of money, waste of waste of time, and all the resources. So, if it is not properly recruited the people, the turnover ratio is go up, and so if it is not carefully do the recruitment, the turnover ratio will go up, and then the recruitment ratio. So that is the major challenge is expectation of the time when we are recruiting. The human needs are different actually. When you are recruiting a academic professional, he has as a human he has a lot of expectation. So if it is not fulfilled properly from the organization, he has to think about some other way. So and also they are expecting higher career development also, because as a nurse he moved the professional moved from the clinical background and starting academic institution to get the more career development. So if it is not fulfilled properly by the institution, it is that is not fulfilled his intention. So it is institution is has a major responsibility to fulfill those ideas. So people are retention. People are retention from a job actually for these are the reasons. They are mainly their ideas actually job satisfaction. One is the job satisfaction. Actually salary is not the main thing is for the job satisfaction. So salary is the one thing. Actually some people are very like to get challenges, get something to get some more new ideas, knowledge. Their ideas is that. So other one is the salary, that is the one part, and the promotions and leadership also. The leadership means actually guidance he get from the institution, and also he is giving the guidance to subordinates and get things done and get satisfaction on that. So retention, when we are working as a lecturer in a academic institution, he has to do the administration part also as well as the lecturing part. So the lecturer, the academic professional has to cater those requirements to be as a academic professional, and he has to also adhere to the required international standard according to the affiliated universities and according to the country regulations. And he also he has to carry an expectation of also entertained by the institution to get proper better personal growth. So our research recommendation is to maintain a framework which is aligned to the the institution goals and personal expectation also. So we have to not fulfill those things. We can't retain the employee in the institution, and for that we have to maintain the more competence into the staff working in there, and also we have to arrange the salary based on according to the experience and qualification, and have to arrange more promotional program to retain the people, and have a path to increase the knowledge in the institute to get more knowledge and improve the staff knowledge. So those are the recommendations according to our research we have got. These are the references. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me invite Dr. Kitsuri Edilseni to present on the topic Assessment of Learning Styles among the new entrants to the diploma level in Allied Health Sciences programs.
Let me take the baton and this. We have been looking at the whole process of how we do things in an academic organization. One area is the planning stage and delivery of programs academic level. So my topic is on the assessment of learning styles. The students of a tertiary education institute with a aim to improve the program outcomes. These are the contents, introduction, the methodology, results, and conclusion. In introduction, I would like to go with the definition of education. It's an act of process of imparting or acquiring general knowledge not only knowledge, skill, attitudes, and the values. And generally, we prepare people to improve their intellectual capacity. And also, it could be done at different levels: the school level, the degree level, vocational level, many levels. And then it's an art of teaching, and all that will come into this area. If you look at the training and education go hand in hand, what happened was initially the education was limited to the first quarter of life. Now it's moving away from that. There are not only the school education, vocational education. Then now we move away from that. There's we call it as lifelong learning. You learn till you die, throughout your career you learn. So therefore, the focus has changed, because the traditional young people will not only move into education institutes, but you would get the older, more mature people as well. Therefore, it's very important to see how these people would behave once they come to a very standardized program. So let's look at it as we go on. These are when you look at organizing a program, in educational program, first we have to plan the program. We call it as strategy level. Then we promote the program, we finance it, then we do deliver and do assessments and do graduation, and then we have a job outcome. In previous presenters did the marketing part of the promotion, then the finance came up. Part of that we saw the e-advertisements and the marketing coming up. Now let's talk about the delivery and assessment. Once you look at educational planning, we are looking at not only planning a program for a specific period of time. We would have to really look at changing environments, because there's no point in making a graduate, but that graduate cannot fit into the industry. So we really have to look into the industry, the changes. Also, for us to make this the raw student to a graduate level, we should really look at what is their existing knowledge and skill. So there's a methodology called training and assessment strategy, and mostly this is originated from Australia, where we look at the industry need, what sort of a person they are looking at, what do they want when a raw job seeker comes to an industry, versus the consumer on the other side, the student, what sort of a capabilities that they have. Now there's a gap definitely between the raw A-level student or O-level student up to the graduate. So what we do is we study these two areas and organize a program. Generally we use a standardized document called CAS document. It's called Training and Assessment Strategy. So idea is to get people passing out in the program, that's called the program output, and also to have a better program outcome. Once they pass out from these programs, they should be able to access the job easily. One of the things that we look at, we have to study the learner who's going to come into your program. So we have to check their knowledge, what sort of a knowledge that they have, their entry qualification, and their skills, what their language skills, their IT skills, all that has to be taken into account. Traditionally this we have been doing, so the entry criterion has all this. Now currently we will moving into the modern contemporary level. We not only look at the knowledge and skill, we look at their learning style. So let's get on to what these learning styles are. And this learning style would give them a better understanding of the whole program. Learning styles initially was originated from United States by a professor called Harvard Gardner in 1993. He came up with a theory called multiple intelligence theory. This theory encompasses 8 areas. According to Professor Gardner, our brain, there are 8 areas in brain that would absorb knowledge and knowledge from different ways. For example, if you look at visual category, our occipital area in the brain would capture that, versus the language category would encompasses the Wernicke's area of the brain. So therefore, likewise, he categorized. There are people who love to learn through musical rhymes and all that, brain would identify it better. And there are people who would like to practically do things rather than just learning the practical aspect of it. And there are people who work among people, interpersonal, group work. And there are people who would like to work alone, intrapersonal. And there's verbal or linguistic, that's a traditional way of doing in Sri Lanka as well, where the teacher uses language skills and people would write it down, the students, and similarly it goes on. And there are some other group that would be better if there's something in logical framework. They have to have sequential form. Once they have sequentially or logically, they could understand it better. And there's a naturalistic people because they would really like to learn when the learning methodologies are more closer to the environment. So all these 8 learning styles are very important. We all have, our brains are adapted to this. So what we do, it's not easy. If you look at a classroom, all this mixture of learning style will be there. So how can we use learning styles in a betterment of any educational program? What we could do is, once you study the learning styles, we could deliver our programs in such a way that many people would absorb the delivery of our program better than the others. And not only that, we should always look at the assessment style also very important. For example, if your Wernicke areas is not developed, that means you are very poor in linguistically, that learning style. But all the programs that are conducted in Sri Lanka, including the O-levels and A-level, are taught in the school linguistical way. Because teachers use the blackboard and write on linguistically, and students will have to write down all these notes, and when they go to the exam, they get a paper which is assessed by linguistically. In case your learning area is not developed, you will not be successful in this. So I have my doubts in the current admission to the universities, where it's about 22% are admitted. Probably the linguistic area is much better because they perform better in the exams, A-level exams. Versus the students at IIT. We've seen most of the students at IITs are at the bottom of the pyramid. That means they have not done well in their A-levels. But once they complete the program here, and when they go out, they perform 1,000 times better than the standard student. It is evident about the researchers and the standard of GPAs that they scored at the end of the program. So this is therefore it's very important to look at the learning styles of students and for us to change our delivery and assessment method accordingly. So this was the objective of the study, is to assess the students' learning style in a tertiary institution like ours, and to augment the effective methods of delivery and assessment of the training program. It was a descriptive cross-sectional study with a qualitative approach, and the population was full-time students and IITs belong to all disciplines of allied health sciences. They have studied more than a year of completion. And there was randomly selected 60 students were taken, and inclusion was the students enrolled in the 3-year program, and we excluded the short-term program students. Data collection was done by a standard tool designated to multiple intelligence theory, and there were a few questions that they had to answer. The results as follows. if you look at the linguistic, the mean was 6.8 and the standard deviation of 1.5. And then if you look at the logical and mathematics, it's again something similar, mean, and the standard deviation was about 2. And then the practical or the fashion, it's about mean of about 7.4 and standard was 1.4. And bodily kinesthetic or the practical aspect of it, it is also about 6.9 and standard deviation was similar. And musical, the spread was not that great, but you had substantial students with musical as well. And interpersonal, mean was 7.2 and the standard deviation of 1.6. So then naturalists are the ones that they had a mean of 6.9 and a standard deviation of 2. If you look at the overall prevalence of learning styles among the students, this was the spread. You would see intrapersonal were the most of the students were intrapersonal. The rest was there was a massive spread among the students. So conclusion was the most prevalent learning style was intrapersonal. Possibly the students came from the state sector and our educational system, which was delivered linguistically. So most and more linguistically, and people used to study alone, not as group wise, because there's less amount of group work given in the government schools and the private schools as well in the current education system. They are wider spread in the learning style. It's most likely because they have studied at IIHS over 1 year. So our methodologies are different. So we assume that the brain, some of the areas in the brain has developed to capture different ways of learning and assessment. Having a good spread is extremely good for a lecturer because the lecturer could use different styles of teaching and assessment. And then it is recommended to validate the students' learning style. Soon after A-level students, they come into IIHS to compare the change in learning styles during a respective educational program. These are my references. Any questions, please? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let me invite A.S. Josara to present on the topic Challenges in Developing Curriculums to Suit Pathway Programs in Healthcare Education. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to talk about challenges in developing curriculums that suit pathway programs in my IHS and basically in healthcare education. My name is Dr. Josara and I'm Deputy Head of the Research and Development Department. First of all, before we can run any program in any college or institution, we need to look at the first thing, the curriculum. What are we going to deliver? So when we develop a curriculum, it requires that we pay close attention to its content, assessment methodology, and both areas should be of high quality and up to date. It should also achieve optimal competency testing of the learners and be able to retain our learners as well. So the development of such curricula can be quite costly because it involves a panel of people that would have to go through endless reviews and re-review the curriculum as well. So our corporate programs that we have with our international affiliations have kind of given us a solution to minimize these costs. However, IHS having multiple affiliations poses numerous challenges in developing these curriculums. We need to consider the requirement of those foreign universities as well. And in addition to those requirements, the standards of delivery and assessment need to be maintained. Further, the curriculum should consider changing characteristics of our learners, because we know our learners are never the same. Every year, as a lecturer myself, we see unique individuals coming through our doors, and we are challenged with, we're given challenges to change the way we teach, because we don't have the same set of people coming every year. So, in order to meet these set challenges I just mentioned, the curriculum or the curricula that we develop have to be regularly revised and well planned. So hence IHS implemented the Research and Development Department, which involves itself in curriculum development. So we research the foreign affiliates, we see their curriculums and compare it with ours and try to upgrade it to meet their requirements. So curriculum development is done annually. It's revised annually actually, and it starts with the assessing of the learner profiles, which Dr. Kipsey just mentioned a while ago, and the learning styles as well of the latest student cohorts that we take in. The affiliated curricula are reviewed for the latest changes and also compared against the local programs as well. So we can allow for lateral entries for students who do local programs to join to the partner programs subsequently. So delivery and assessment methods are revised with an aim to improve student centricity and integration within the curricula. As a result of these analysis, they all the curriculum are regularly discussed at academic meetings, and the development process is continued. The developed curricula are then reviewed by both internal and external experts. So in conclusion, when we consider developing a curriculum for a pathway program in healthcare, the following need to be taken into account: the learner profiles as I mentioned, the industry needs, and also the needs of the individual universities to which the students are going into. The curriculum should be flexible enough to accommodate the lateral entries and early exits as well. That's why you get the 2+2 programs as opposed to the 3+1 program. And the affiliated curriculum should be serially monitored, and impaired changes should be adopted if necessary. These are my references. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. Thank you, Miriam. Let me invite BGP Dushankar to present on the topic Improving Online Delivery Methods Used at the International Institute of Health Sciences.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Harinul. I'm Senior Clinical Coordinator and Lecturer at IHS. So, it's about improving online delivery methods used at IIHS Sri Lanka. Well, this is my content. So we started IHS with less than 50 students initially, and we had a very high paper consumption. So we had issues with sharing learning materials such as PowerPoint presentations and documents. So we needed a platform for distance learning as well as for sharing learning materials as well as to reduce paper consumption. So we introduced virtual learning environment, or we call it VLE, which is an ordinary website which is customized for academic purposes. So this virtual learning environment, so which is a very simple website. So things change over time. So the student number increased close upon to 700 students, and the diversity of the program and pathways increased, such as having more foreign affiliations and having foreign students. So we needed more effective monitoring mechanism to monitor students' activities, as well as a more efficient distance learning and assessment methodology. So at the same time, we required a student-friendly platform to encourage students to get involved in academic activities. So if you look at this graph, which I have taken from Central Bank report in 2013, it shows the increase of cellular mobile phone users, at the same time internet connection. So which was close to 99%. So at the same time in 2014, the total internet connection grew up to 68.4%. At the same time, mobile internet connections were growing up to 85.8%. So which is a very large number, and which influenced us to think about making our platform mobile compatible. So like as everyone is carrying a smartphone nowadays. So we started designing. So we initially plan our infrastructure accordingly to improve the speed and the accessibility to learning management systems, or LMS. At the same time, we change lesson content accordingly in a way which it suits more for a learning management system. So we started with a Moodle. So why Moodle? We choose Moodle out of many other learning management systems because that was one of the most popular free open source platform learning management system. At the same time, it's free, so it's open source, popular. At the same time, it's user friendly than most of the other learning management systems. At the same time, so it's more customizable. So we choose a skin for our learning management system, so our students will feel like using it. So it will become more user friendly. So if you look at this, these are statistics about a comparison of Moodle along with other learning management systems. You can see this Moodle stands at the top among all the other learning management systems. So at the same time, if you look at this registered sites, so it's around 63,000 universities and institutes started using Moodle, so that became very popular. Well, so this is the skin that we have used, so that looks very pleasant and simple. So students would feel like accessing it. We started developing learning management system with Moodle. Learning materials package using SCORM 1.2. So this SCORM stands for Shareable Content Object Reference Model, where the SCORMs will be used to pack or arrange content, academic content, in a manner which it will support almost all the learning management system. For example, if we use only Moodle, we will only be able to use that content in Moodle platform, not in any other learning management system such as Blackboard, Go, any other. So we use SCORM to package our content. So in one day we will be able to use these all the learning materials packages in any other learning management system in case if we wanted to. So at the same time we started outsourcing our programs like executive masters. The other institutes would use our curriculums to deliver our programs in other countries and in other institutes. So we found it easy to make our content in SCORM format, so they can use this content in their own learning management systems. So we use 1.2 version because it was the most simplest version of SCORM packages, and 1.2 version supported many learning management systems. So at the same time, in case if we need to upgrade this version 1.2 to 1.3 or higher, it is just a matter of making it automatically upgraded. So we choose SCORM 1.2. At the same time, we use internet connection of 2 megabyte. We converted our existing 2 megabyte per second ADSL connection to 4 megabyte lease line because at least a user should have to have 256 kilobyte per second internet connection to access learning management system. So since we have more students, we decided to go for 4 megabyte lease line out of 2 megabyte, 4 megabyte and 6 megabyte, having it to be upgraded in future if the requirements change with our requirements. So this is the application that we use to package our learning content or academic content into SCORM. So we call it EXE learning. Then again we choose this specific application to make SCORM packages because this application was a free application at the same open source application. At the same time, that was easy and user friendly application. Well, and we use Bluehost server to host our Moodle because the Bluehost server had very good overall reviews and comments. At the same time, there were many Moodle sites which were hosted successfully in Bluehost server, and server uptime was 99.9, and the server speed was less than, the server response time was less than 350 milliseconds. So we implemented the project by arranging curriculum content in a way which it would suit learning management systems using SCORM packages. So initially we started training staff on learning management system and Moodle to the way to upload these materials, at the same time to set up classes, to set up examinations, and to get feedback from students. So we continuously carried out staff training to encourage staff to develop the system and to make enthusiasm. So students were trained to use learner management system as groups, and the learner management system Moodle implemented parallel to the existing platform that we called virtual learning environment. So these are few screenshots of Moodle, where this is how it looks like for students, and this is students using the Moodle. You can see these, like the students are using mobile devices to access Moodle and IT lab. So and if you look at usability and effectiveness of monitoring, if you look at this, so it was very easy to monitor students' usability, utilization. At the same time, it was very easy to assess students' performance using learning management system. So it gives us a detailed report in no time. So evaluation, we conducted qualitative evaluation to obtain the feedback from both lecturers as well as students. So we conducted surveys on the movie itself as well as the other surveys to find out the student satisfaction as well as the accessibility. And both evaluations showed very positive results where the students and the staff were very satisfied with the outcomes of the learning management system. So these are my references. So if you have any questions, you may ask now. I would thank Dr. Kisiri Edrisinghe for giving us this opportunity as well as Dr. Nishan for supporting us throughout, Commissioner Martinez as well as all staff members and students for participating for the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karan. With that, session 2 ends, and we will have the lunch break and meet at 1:15. Thank you. Ms. Ashoka and Sister Geraldine, any comments from the panel?
Thank you very much. All the staff members have put a lot of effort to bring this presentation very effective, and we could see a lot of hands work together for this presentation. Well done.
Thank you, Sister.
To develop as an institution that's very fine to explore more options to develop as individual organization. I think each and every member of academic staff as well as non-academic staff put in great effort to uplift the program. So that is ongoing process is there. It is very beneficial for the students who are coming to our
Thank you, Mrs. Ashoka.
Our theme for the conference is intersectoral collaboration of healthcare education and delivery. The idea of showing our process, though it's a private institution, we are going public of the secrets and how we have done. So simply because we would like to share with the government and the other private sector institutions, simply because finally our contribution and the teamwork in different sectors will have to go into the grassroots level of consumer our patient to give the better quality of care. So therefore we would invite all the state and the private sector and the other institutions to collaborate with us, share our knowledge, what we have done. We don't say we have done the best, but we are growing and we have lot of learnings in this sector, more to do for the Sri Lanka. So we are openly inviting all the institutions to collaborate with us, and we would love to share what we have learned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So we'll be back after the lunch break at 1:15. Thank you.